I already made a video several months ago ranking each movie villain of every major Dragon Ball movie. There, I analyzed, discussed, and power scaled the villains in respect to each other. In doing so, I found some interesting comments and people requesting that I should make a video explaining how every major Dragon Ball villain was defeated. So here it is, I guess, every Dragon Ball villain and how they got defeated. The first movie features a villain who was basically unkillable. That is because Garlic Jr. is one of the few villains who actually successfully wished for immortality. He's also very strong, being stronger than the god of Earth, Kame. In addition, he had minions who could give Piccolo some trouble. So you might ask, what went wrong for Garlic Jr.? How could an immortal demon who is literally stronger than God lose? Well, the simple answer is Garlic Jr. is a moron. Not only was his first act in the movie is to kill Piccolo, which is absolutely dumb if you just think about it, because with Piccolo dead, Garlic Jr. wouldn't have been able to use the Dragon Balls later and complete his goal of immortality. Not only that, but with Piccolo dead, Kami would perish, and that would mean Garlic Jr. wouldn't be able to take revenge against Kame for expelling his father in the past, well, at least not taking revenge directly. Well, okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, and let's say for the sake of the argument that Garlic Jr. somehow didn't know that. He is still a moron for basically opening up the dead zone, which is a pocket dimension that acts like a dark hole, sucking in everything. So just like my ex-girlfriend for real. NANI? Anyways, a Garlic Jr. literally brings out the only thing that could have defeated him. If only he would have just been a little bit more patient against Goku and Piccolo, he would have eventually defeated them. Having said that, Garlic Jr. was ultimately defeated at the end by Gohan's anger, as Gohan basically wins a battle of tug of war and pushes Garlic Jr. into the dead zone, sealing his fate. So yeah, Garlic Jr. was done by a 4-year-old.
Cute! And what is the 4-year-old going to do to stop me?
Dr. Willow is the second major villain from The World's Strongest. He is a pre-Dr. Gero in a sense. The World's Strongest movie is one of the few movies that actually introduced a fresh new concept for a villain. Unlike most of the previous movies that just copies what the anime series is doing at the moment, in this movie the mad scientist has the plan to use his metal armored body to take over the strongest fighter in the world, thereby being the most intelligent and the strongest. However, Goku was able to defeat him by summoning the power of the Spirit Bomb and one-shotting Dr. Willow. Turles is a rogue Saiyan that appeared in the third movie Tree of Might. He is a low-class Saiyan warrior who looks identical to Goku. But unlike him, he is ruthless and is the complete antithesis to what Goku stands for. Instead of training and relying on his own strength, Turles uses shortcuts to godlike power. He is also someone who uses whatever tactics it takes to win the battle. In the movie, he uses the Tree of Might to suck the life out of the earth in order to bear fruits that would multiply his power by more than 10 times by just a single bite. This was evident by the fact that prior to eating the fruit, he could barely keep up with base Goku at the power level of 30,000. Yet after one bite, he was able to overpower Kaioken times 10 Goku. However, Turles' plan were proven to be fruitless, no pun intended, when Goku summons the Spirit Bomb once again, but this time drawing power from the Divine Tree itself and using its own power to destroy it along Turles. Lord Slug is the fourth movie villain. To surmise his character, he is basically a copy-paste of King Piccolo. He's an evil Namekian who arrives to Earth and then conveniently learns about the Dragon Balls after reading and probing Bulma's mind. He then wishes for eternal youth and as a result regains his original powers. However, unlike King Piccolo, Lord Slug is significantly stronger. He was able to overpower a post-Namek Saga Goku. Though, thanks to Piccolo's helping hand, Goku managed to use a times 100 Kaioken that made him fly through Lord Slug, similarly to how Goku went through King Piccolo as a kid. Goku then proceeds to summon a spirit bomb powered by the sun of the earth. He then uses that spirit bomb to destroy Lord Slug. Cooler is the main villain of the 5th movie, Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge. He came to Earth in order to find the person responsible for killing his family. There he finds Goku. However, in order for Goku to save his son, Cooler manages to damage and wound him in their first encounter, leaving Goku out of commission for most of the film. However, once Goku receives his needed senzu bean, he engages against Cooler, but soon finds himself being overwhelmed after Cooler reveals his ability to transcend Frieza's final form and achieve a level far beyond that. He gets so strong that he absolutely wrecks base Goku and overpowers him in both strength and speed. However, all of that changes after Goku rediscovers the ability to go Super Saiyan, which completely shifts the tide of battle to his favor. Cooler then uses his supernova attack quickly to catch Goku off guard in order to try and kill him and blow up the earth. Goku uses the Kamehameha and redirect the attack to Cooler, sending him to space and into the sun, where he burns and seemingly dies.
Why wasn't he destroyed with the rest of them?
Thanks to a self-aware AI computer chip that was floating in space for what seems to be eons, the Spaghetti Star came into contact with Cooler and managed to resurrect him from the brink of death after being absorbed into the machine. Cooler was so powerful that his consciousness took over and created a new improved metal body for himself. Each Meta Cooler body is as strong as a Super Saiyan. Cooler was only defeated thanks to Vegeta and Goku. Their combined Super Saiyan powers managed to somehow overload the Spaghetti Star, causing the planet-sized machine to collapse from their collective strength. This caused all the Meta Coolers to be destroyed, granting Vegeta and Goku the chance to escape. However, as the others start to evacuate, Goku and Vegeta face off against the original Cooler body alone. Cooler then takes on his battle form and grabs Goku, squeezing him until his body starts to bleed. Vegeta interjects and fires a Kienzan right at Cooler's arm and cutting it off, giving Goku the chance to use one of his most badass finishing moves as he fires a Ki Burst Sphere that looks loosely like a Walmart version of Gogeta's Stardust Breaker, though this attack was enough to do what the sun itself couldn't do by finishing off Cooler once and for all. Super Android 13 is the main villain of the 7th movie installment. Toei Animation draws inspiration from the main timeline and introduces more androids. Among those killing machines is an android that has the ability to absorb other mechanical parts of other androids, a kind of pre-cell if you will. This causes Android 13 to morph into basically a Super Saiyan looking android. Cause why not? He's blue as well, because also why not? And his design is pretty much what Broly is based on these days, being a gigantic muscle meathead with a barely functioning mind. Although his powers are much greater than any of the individual Z fighters, he ragdolls everyone around him and steamrolls through everyone. This leaves Goku with the only option of summoning the Spirit Bomb once again. And although this is the last time we see Goku using the Spirit Bomb in a movie, it's possibly the best Spirit Bomb ever, as Goku gathers the Spirit Bomb very quickly, and judging by its size, Goku must have charged it by the solar system. Goku then goes Super Saiyan and absorbs the power of the Spirit Bomb and uses that power to quite literally vaporize the overpowered machine. Goku was so strong that Super 13's arm just disintegrated as he tries to punch Goku. Goku then punches through 13 and defeats him. Broly the legendary Super Saiyan is the main antagonist of the 8th movie, widely regarded as the best Dragon Ball Z film from the 90s. featuring the very first Super Saiyan villain in the series. Broly was so strong that the movie basically consisted of Broly dog-walking all the Z-Warriors left and right. Broly was so powerful that his hands were rated E for everyone. Even the Prince of all Saiyans wanted nothing to do with him. To defeat the legendary Super Saiyan, you needed the legendary Super Saiyan. Or rather, just the producer saying the movie's about to end, so let's get it over with. So, thanks to the power of friendship and plot, Goku managed to receive a helping hand from all the wounded Z-Warriors around. Well, except for Vegeta, who was refusing to get over his pride and help out the lower class Saiyan. Goku endures so much beating from Broly. However, due to Goku's unyielding tenacity and his attitude of never giving up, persuaded Vegeta to finally share his ki. This power granted to Goku shot his power to a level where the tide of battle completely shifts in his favor. Goku was so strong that he could easily block Broly's punch, and eventually made him overcome Broly and one-shot him with a single punch.
I am not gonna let you get away with this!
In the 9th movie, we get Bojack, one of those villains who is stronger than a regular Super Saiyan, as this movie takes place after the Cell games, meaning Goku's dead, and the main protagonist of the film is Gohan. What makes Bojack more difficult is that he has a squad with him that are very strong in their own right. Each one of them seems to be at the very least SSJ grade 1 tier, and Bojack himself who surpasses Super Saiyan. While Trunks himself managed to barely and brutally defeat one of the henchmen, the others were far too difficult, and it took Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 to basically give them the Cell Jr. treatment. The movie doesn't shy away from basically recreating the same scenes from the original anime, as Gohan is shown to recreate his iconic moments from the Cell games. Gohan then proceeds to walk over to Bojack, punch him through the stomach, and then ends him with a Super Kamehameha. As you will notice in this video, Broly makes a habit of coming back in one way or another. This time Broly conveniently survived the planet explosion in movie 8, and also conveniently landed into Earth, while also conveniently stayed out of commission for 7 years. However, that is not nearly as convenient of how Broly was defeated in this movie, as he faces off against a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and yes, Gohan was Super Saiyan 2 in this movie. If you want the full explanation to why he was in Super Saiyan 2 form, then please watch my Dragon Ball movie villains ranked. There I power scaled each and every movie villain, and I also proved that Gohan was indeed SSJ 2, but I digress. Broly was also stronger in this movie as he got a Zenkai boost from his near-death experience. This was evident as he causes a lot of trouble against a version of Gohan who never stopped training after the Cell games, and he almost defeats him. However, that doesn't stop the power of plot yet again to interfere and bring Goku back from the death for like 10 seconds to help Gohan and Goten to defeat Broly. A wildly popular theory was Shenron who heard Goten wishing that his father would come back and help them. Although for a brief moment, Goku descends from the sky and powers up into Super Saiyan. This moment gives birth to the iconic family Kamehameha, which pushes back Broly's blaster shell attack and sends him out of space and straight into the sun. I honestly despair whenever I talk about this movie, not because I think this movie was terrible. On the contrary, it's actually not. The movie is interesting and fun in its own way. Their biggest mistake, however, was just the execution and idea of bringing back Broly that was clearly not Broly. Not only was his design just gross, but they somehow managed to make Broly even more brain dead. Bio Broly is simply a scientific abomination, a failed experiment in resurrecting one of the fiercest and destructive beings that has ever walked the universe. If you thought Frankenstein over here was bad, then his death is even worse than you think. Bio Broly is defeated by water. Yes, you heard me. H2O is essentially the primary weakness for the Bio Warriors, as their bodies solidify after touching seawater. This allows Goten and Trunks the opportunity to end our misery and finish off Bio Broly with the Kamehameha. So yeah, fun fact, Trunks used the Kamehameha in this movie. Fusion Reborn is a personal favorite of mine. It is the 12th movie installment featuring a character that is loosely based on Majin Buu, as Janinpa's first appearance looks and acts somewhat like the first form of Majin Buu. Janinpa is an instrument of destruction, a monster who was formed by eons of evil souls being released all at once. He managed to reshape hell and manipulate matter to his own will. He even managed to make Goku go Super Saiyan 3, in which the first form of Janinpa was quickly overwhelmed by Goku's obscene strength. However, his second state being Super Janinpa is entirely a different story. While simply having a high power level, Janinpa had insane abilities, as he could easily deconstruct and reconstruct his body at will, opening portals that makes attacks go through. He could even pick a small harmless object and reconstruct it into a long sword that can cut through anything, as he uses this sword to beat Goku's Super Saiyan 3. Janinpa had so much raw power and hacks that the only way to beat him is to summon an entity that is even more broken than Janinpa himself. Goku and Vegeta decide to unite their power once again on screen, giving birth to the angel born in hell, Gogeta. Gogeta was so powerful that Janinpa, a character that could reshape the afterlife, couldn't fathom nor comprehend how many times he got hit. Gogeta ends the fight in seconds as he uses his move, the Stardust Breaker, to erase Janinpa on the molecular level. Janinpa tries to punch Gogeta in the face, but it wouldn't faze him, as Janinpa starts to dematerialize into nothing. The 13th Dragon Ball Z movie is the last OG movie from the 90s and is one of the rare cases of being a movie that could slot in perfectly in the timeline. That is because this movie takes place after the events of the Kid Buu saga. The film introduces a somewhat new concept for a villain, a giant monster. Okay, saying it like that makes it seem like it's boring, but bear with me. The Hirudegan monster is a thing of legend. His original role was being a demon god statue that purifies people's evil ki. But thanks to the Kashvars, they turned him into a phantom Majin, which basically started the systematic destruction of the entire universe. His single desire and function is to eliminate every living thing. He was so powerful to the point where the only way to stop him was to use an ancient magical weapon and cut him into two halves, and seal each half inside an ocarina. Then each legendary swordsman sealed himself inside a music box. Fast forward to the present, the Dragon Team uses Shenron to open the music box and release the legendary swordsman inside. By doing so, they accidentally manage to bring back the monster's other half. With Hirudegan being unleashed and being reunited with his other half, his original powers come back. But not only that, he managed to transform into a stronger form, being more powerful than a Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Hirudegan was only defeated after Goku discovers his weakness. He utilizes an opening in which Hirudegan isn't able to shift his phantom state. By doing so, Goku gives birth to his ultimate move, the Super Dragon Fist, a one-shot technique created after Goku makes contact. The energy of this attack is amplified far past its normal power, triggering an explosion of ki in the form of a golden shining dragon that resembles Shenron. The resulting collision of this attack was capable of completely obliterating the demon god. After 17 years of waiting for a new Dragon Ball movie, Akira Toriyama sensei picks up his pen again and writes a completely new original Dragon Ball story. This storyline has forever reshaped the Dragon Ball franchise forever and set everything to a new era. And that's all thanks to the main antagonist in this movie, Beerus the God of Destruction. His character was so prevalent that he is the only character on this video list who wasn't defeated in a movie. Of course, this has to do with what Beerus' main function was, which is to introduce Goku and Vegeta to the new powers of Super Saiyan God, and show to Goku that he has yet to master all martial arts. Had Beerus been an evil character that Goku needed to defeat, let's be honest, he would have lost just like Broly thanks to the power of plot. However, although not technically a loss, you could make the argument that Beerus was actually defeated in the Battle of Gods movie, as his own mentor Whis one-shots Beerus after his rampage from eating the wasabi.
That's enough!
For several years, Frieza has been fodderized thanks to the Super Saiyan powers acquired by the Saiyans. Each time he managed to make a cameo or appearance, he gets immediately obliterated. This is when Frieza makes the unthinkable decision of a character of his caliber. He decides he must train for only 4 months. This short amount of time has conveniently shot his power from being on the level of Super Saiyan Goku on Namek to Super Saiyan Blue. However, Frieza makes the fatal mistake of not adjusting to his new power, as his new golden strength that was acquired burned his stamina very quickly, being defeated by Vegeta very easily after tagging out with Goku. Frieza loses his golden form and was going to seemingly be killed by Vegeta. However, Frieza does the nasty thing and destroys the entire planet by simply tapping on the ground. Frieza, even in his depleted state, destroyed Earth with a single touch. Though Frieza's victory is cut short, as Whis' divine intervention was put on full effect. Whis uses his ability of reversing time back to 3 minutes. Goku corrects his mistake and uses Kamehameha to finish off Frieza. However, this was at the expense of Vegeta and most DBZ fans who preferred to see the Saiyan Prince get his deserved revenge.
Stop me! Frieza! What? No!
Just when you thought you couldn't have enough Broly, Toei Animation remembers how much they love money. Broly's brought back once again for a brand new original story with a different version and outlook of the character. Unlike his DBZ counterpart, Broly isn't necessarily evil. He's just, a bit insane. Broly is illogically powerful in this movie though. Again, if you want the deep dive and analysis on how strong he was, you could watch my movie villains ranked video. But I digress, because we are in a stage where Goku and Vegeta have literally ascended into godhood. The writers had to accommodate by giving Broly the wickedest handjob in all of anime, and make him have basically limitless potential. Broly goes from struggling against a base form Vegeta in the beginning of the fight, and then barely adjusting to the first level of Super Saiyan, up to ragdolling a Super Saiyan God Goku in 5 minutes. Suffice to say, the dude is overpowered. He embodies the limitless potential of the Saiyan race. He adapts quicker than any other Saiyan, gets stronger as the fight goes on, and goes through multiple transformations. In fact, merely achieving Super Saiyan makes him overpower both Goku and Vegeta's Super Saiyan Blue. So, when facing against a monster like that, who's as powerful as Beerus himself, Goku and Vegeta have no other option but to summon the strongest Saiyan warrior in history. Gogeta in Super Saiyan alone was able to compete with Broly and do a better job than either Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, or Vegeta could do. Even though Broly could adapt to any person he fights against, Broly had no solution for Gogeta, as he was overwhelmed by the cumulative strength of Goku and Vegeta mixed and multiplied. Not only was Gogeta strong, but his fighting IQ far exceeds his individual counterparts. This was clearly evident with how Gogeta schools Broly, and makes Broly go through one power-up to another. Gogeta transforms into Super Saiyan Blue and lays a world-class beating. Gogeta is untouchable at this point. He's able to dodge, keep up, and counter-attack everything Broly throws at him. This was all done so Broly could hit the wall and literally reach a point where his power caps. Gogeta was almost going to kill him, but he was saved by the Dragon Balls, in which Chi-Lai wishes for Shenron to teleport Broly outside the planet. Honestly, she should consider herself lucky that Gogeta was in a good mood. Otherwise, he would have easily tracked Broly down via instant transmission and teleported to his location. Cell Max is the final antagonist of Dragon Ball Super superhero movie from 2022. Although not a terrible movie, Cell Max was given the Bio Broly treatment, bringing back one of the main villains of Dragon Ball Z and reduce him into a raging monster, thereby taking away anything that was interesting about him prior. No special unique features, no noteworthy abilities or transformations. In fact, Cell Max appears to be in the semi-perfect state, and that's because his brain wasn't complete yet. Meaning, the movie literally teased us that we could have had a perfect Cell Max. I'm honestly convinced Toei Animation hates Dragon Ball fans. Anyways, Cell Max was defeated thanks to Gohan, who awoke in his potential for like the 27th time, and achieved a form that puts him on the playing field of the gods. In this form, Gohan could easily withstand Cell Max's full power punch. Before returning one of his own, Cell Max retaliates and begins to charge a massive ball of energy, which he collapses into a concentrated attack. Piccolo recovers and holds Cell Max in place. However, Cell Max tosses the energy ball and Gohan performs an ultimate special beam cannon, running through Cell Max's head and defeating him once and for all. Thank God. Honestly, it's impressive how Gohan managed to amass 4 wins from 17 movies, as Gohan defeated Garlic Jr., Bojack, and he was technically responsible for killing Broly once and for all in the second movie, and had his final victory in the latest Dragon Ball Super movie against Cell. Goku himself defeated the rest with the exception of H2O that beat Bio Broly. Though, hopefully we can see Vegeta getting at least 1 win. Yeah? No? Okay then.
Special Beam Cannon!
What I always liked about Dragon Ball movies is that it can explore some interesting storylines and conflicts you wouldn't be able to fit in the main timeline, while also holding some incredible concepts and villains. I think any Dragon Ball fan should experience the Dragon Ball movies, especially the original 13 ones. For me, they were my childhood, and I still own all the DVDs for all of them. Part of me wants to rank these movies from worst to best. Speaking of which, let me know in the comments down below which movie was your favorite. Also, which villain was the best in your own opinion. By the way, if you guys want to watch a video of me ranking the movie villains from weakest to strongest, then you can click on the screen and watch that video. But other than that, it's been your host MoodZi, so please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.